I have 100x ROAS tattooed across my knuckles because I love marketing and advertising that much. But the ad strategy that I'm using today might be the stupidest thing you've ever heard, except it's working, and it's working extremely well, even though you can't click on the ads and they don't even tell people to buy stuff. Now, as weird as this sounds, people that see these ads convert 285% better than people that come from like email and stuff. I'll show you examples of the ads in a minute, but first, I want to help you save a lot of money and I want to help you make your ads work better. So let's say you're in the market and you're selling, I don't know, books on tomato gardening or something. Doesn't really matter. Here's your market. Now, you'll have this biggest segment where they're thinking about buying stuff. And this is the majority of them. And then you'll have this smaller, tiny segment of people that are ready to buy your stuff like right now. And then we'll have another segment of people that are never going to buy anything. Now, what's interesting is most marketers are focusing all of their efforts on this tiny little segment of people that are really hard to reach and they're extremely competitive just to get in front of them, where the ones who are thinking about buying are way easier to reach and you can do it for a lot cheaper. So the real question is, how do we get somebody to go from thinking about buying something to being ready to buy something right now and do that faster? And the answer is you need to create 28 valuable touch points. But it's not what you might think. It's not like, they have to see my logo 28 times or whatever. And it's also not like, oh God, I have to make like this giant volume of stuff. It's a lot simpler. I'll show you exactly what to do. Before I do, I'll show you the research behind it. So essentially these two big companies did a ton of research. And these are pretty recent studies as well, but what's interesting is the way people buy things has really changed. Specifically, we can see right here, Google did a lot of research on this, and it's called the messy middle. It's not linear anymore. It's more like what it says here in the research, which is they might see an ad or some content and check it out, and then they might go and they might search for your stuff and then kind of think about it, and maybe they'll read a review, and then maybe a couple days later they'll see a YouTube video, and then if you don't stay in front of them, they'll forget, and then eventually they'll see something else and it'll trigger their attention and make them start thinking about it again, and eventually they'll buy. So that's kind of known as the messy middle there, which is exactly what it sounds like, messy. Therefore, we need some way to make it easier and doable. And I'll show you how to do this in a minute, but first let me give you the big picture. I start by paying to show deliberately terrible videos about AI copywriting and AI marketing to complete strangers who have never heard of me. And I don't have a ton of these videos or anything. They're like maybe 2.5 minutes on average, but if somebody watches one of them, then I know they're probably interested in AI marketing and AI copywriting, or else they wouldn't have watched. Now, earlier, I told you the secret to this is not just the touch points, but it's the value provided in the touch points. And this is why I don't let people click on my ads. So if they were to click on this video, they wouldn't finish the video and they wouldn't get the value from the video. When I retarget people, I usually retarget them with written content ads, like this one. It's not telling them to buy anything, it's just helping them out. But if they clicked away from this and they went to my site, it would be premature because they wouldn't be able to get the value from it. So that's why I'm not letting them click. I'm also retargeting those video viewers with these little images. I call them authority cards. And essentially what I do is I use ojoy.ai to go through like the transcripts of my videos or whatever, find little like valuable snippets of it and turn them into images that just teach people cool stuff. Here's an example of one right here. Notice you can't click it. Don't want anyone to click it. I want them to get the value. And here's another example. UnClickable. I know it's a little blurry, sorry, it's from a screenshot, but it's just teaching people like solid stuff. Now, what's funny is it seems like it's a lot of content to have to make, but in reality, I've got like 14 of these, and I'm able to show them to people that watched my top of funnel video in a way that the average person sees all 14 ads over the course of 7 days for 11 cents per person. Think about that. and I know they're qualified because they watched my video that was deliberately terrible and only interesting to people who would like want to write copy and stuff with AI. So I'll show you real quick how easy it is to make this kind of stuff, and then I'll show you the conversion numbers, which are really insane. So I use ojoy.ai, which is a shameless plug because that happens to be my family software, but I use it to come up with ideas and stuff for content like this, which is I'm making this content based on what I found here today. All I do to really take this idea and turn it into usable content is I'll take this and I'll just say something like, all right, great. What I need to do is take this research and just kind of write an article for me. The main points that I want to include is that it takes an average of 27 to 28 touch points before somebody goes from thinking about buying stuff to actually buying something. And I want to explain why, and then I want to explain what the messy middle is, and be sure to mention how that comes from Google and stuff, assuming that's true. And it made it for me. It's actually pretty well done, but I use Project Shepherd to make it actually sound cool. What's great about it is I can just give it that little article and I can say this. Hey, I'm going to give you an article and I want you to read through it and then write me an outline for a YouTube script that kind of explains it and makes it sound cool, and use the but therefore storytelling technique. You could have it write you a script, but it's just like following this pattern of how to keep people engaged by building tension. Like, hey, this is true, but we got this, therefore we need this, but we got this, therefore we need this. I've been doing it throughout this whole video. And it just writes it for me. Reading a script from a teleprompter is really hard, at least for me. So that's why I just get a little outline, and then I just kind of read stuff from the outline, and then say it into the camera, and then cut out the stuff that's dumb. It's awesome. I could also turn this into a post or whatever and train it to write like me. In fact, if you want to see a deep dive in terms of how to do that, I'll put a link under this video in the description for another video on my channel that goes way deeper in the content creation. But my point is, it's not really that hard to do if you have the right tools and you approach it, the right way. And that ultimately leads us here. So these are the stats from October 27th through December 5th, kind of randomly chosen date range there. But when people see those ads that you can't click on by design, they're constantly seeing ojoy.ai, ojoy.ai, ojoy.ai. This makes them either type in the domain name or do a Google search for it, which is funny because the search term is ojoy.ai. It's like, why wouldn't you just type it? But whatever, once you just type it in directly, they're converting at 3.63%. So that's 285% better than email traffic. I'm telling you, this method is the way billion-dollar brands were built back in the day, from TV ads and stuff. It's just we can do it on the internet so much cheaper. It cost me 11 cents for someone to see my ad 14 times over the course of a week. That's crazy. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful, and I really recommend you try this method out. Again, if you want to try Ojoy for free, you can. Ojoy.ai, there's a free trial. And if you want to have a deeper dive on exactly how to do this, and where I walk you through the campaign frameworks and structures and everything, I'll put a link to the video below. It's on my YouTube channel. All right, thanks for watching this. Take it easy.